packing again. I didn't think I'd be making a video about packing or moving again so soon, like a year after I made my first moving to North Carolina stuff, but we're actually moving again. So we're gonna be doing some moving content and all of the things. Today I'm starting on the bar cart because we have this dish barrel box that we're gonna pack everything into. We did this on the way here and we're gonna be doing it on the way back because it worked so well. The cell kit goes into the dish barrel box and then we're gonna use some bubbles to wrap all of the like dishes up there. Any of our mugs that are in that cabinet over there too, I'm gonna also be putting in this box because obviously we don't have that many glassware that are gonna like take up this whole box because that dish barrel box is pretty big. I like to cut the corners of the boxes just because I feel like then you know you're not gonna rip the box and you get a really clean cut so you can easily go in and pack it up really well. You may or may not be wondering why we're moving again. It's almost been a year since we've been in North Carolina or where we're moving to. We're not actually staying in North Carolina. We're gonna be moving back to Montana. There's a couple of reasons for this decision. One, we just don't have any family out here, so most of our family is on the West Coast in California, Montana, Texas. I was like trying to think of where else. We do have family down in Florida, but obviously that's not like directly in North Carolina. I'm not actually sure how this is constructed, so we're just gonna like try and figure that out. I'm assuming it's like something like this. Oh, maybe I should do this on the floor. One down, okay. I know a year is not like a long enough time to really get used to everything in a new place, but I feel like moving back is just the move for us because I feel like we're just not loving it here as much as we would back home. A big reason of why we decided to move in the first place was I wanted to try somewhere new. I'd only ever lived in my hometown and I wanted to like try something new and go somewhere new. And when we were thinking of places, we decided on North Carolina, and I just don't feel like this is the place for us. We miss Montana a lot of the time. We miss some of the familiar things. I feel like a lot of our life was back there. We had built a life after college there. One thing that is going to be kind of a like hit is that cost of living is a lot more expensive there than it is here. Luckily, my parents still live in Montana and we're actually going to be moving in with them, and that is something that I know a lot of people can't do, but we are incredibly grateful that that is an option, and it does allow us to move back sooner. Even though we've only been here a year, it does allow us to move back. I feel like if we had to maybe rent an apartment with just the cost of apartment costs there, we might not have had the same opportunity to move back as soon as we wanted. Even though our time in North Carolina has been fun, and I don't want to say that it was like terrible or that we hated it here, it was just definitely different, and I think we're just ready to go back to Montana. We are going to be doing some moving content. I'm hoping to show you guys a lot more of what I do when we move, because last time I moved, I feel like I didn't show you everything we did. And I want to show you that in case you are planning in a cross-country move. When we moved here, it was like the first time I had ever moved, obviously like 4 days away. Like we had to drive 4 days to get here and we'll have to drive 4 days to get back. Basically, if you're planning a long cross-country move, I just want to give you some of the things I like when I do move. Because we're living with my parents, a lot of our stuff in this house we'll not have access to for a certain amount of time. We honestly don't know how long we'll live with them. Obviously, that just depends on a lot of different factors, like what kind of jobs we get, what are the rent prices, when can we secure an apartment. I feel like one thing we did wrong when we moved here was we rented this place sight unseen. And not that this house has been bad by any means, but it definitely, when we first moved in, was not up to like the level of cleanliness that we would have wanted. I wouldn't have wanted to move into a place like this if I had seen it, because I would have kind of seen kind of the issues and things that maybe could have been taken care of. We could have talked to the rental property company that we're renting through, but at the beginning when we first moved in, it was just so many little things, like time after time, there was just so many things that would have had to been like pointed out that I was just like, it was not worth the effort. For example, our pantry was just these like metal shelves that were pretty much falling apart. So we had to build shelves in there to actually have a usable pantry. And also in the pantry, one of like the baseboards on the side, on the inside, was just like completely gone. And so we actually had to put the baseboard in ourselves. I know a lot of people would tell me we should have reached out and like talked to them about that. But honestly, there was just so many issues when we moved in, which is like cleanliness, or like the way they painted the walls where there was like previous holes that weren't us. There was just too much to like be reaching out to them every 2 seconds about something. Honestly, I don't know if it would have done anything, because we actually had a work order in for the light in our garage, because it like is consistently on no matter what. You can't turn it off, it's not connected to anything, it's randomly always on. So it's kind of nice because if you go into the garage, there's always a light on. But they had a work order out for it when we first moved in, and they never came and fixed it. So I don't know if we had said anything, if any of the stuff that we were like having issues with would have gotten fixed. And sometimes it was just like overall cleanliness of the house that you would have thought when they moved out, they would have hired professional cleaners to come in, especially with us now seeing the like different things that they have listed for us to do. It's kind of disappointing seeing how this was all listed on the previous lease when they moved out and it wasn't done, and then they rented it to us when it was already not done. And I feel like if we had seen the place in person before we moved here, we would have maybe chosen a little bit more wisely. But you know, you live and you learn. That was a lesson. But luckily, going back to Montana, we're not gonna have to deal with any kind of rental of any kind, which will be nice for a little bit, because obviously we also have a dog. So dealing with rental companies, property managements with dogs are just a little more harder than if you didn't have dogs. I thought I would show you the pantry to show you what it looks like now. So we put on all of these shelves because they had these like metal ones in here that were literally like falling off the wall. But as you can see, just like things like this along the back wall, this wasn't us. This was them leaving the pantry just like this before we even moved in. Like this stuff is just stuff that's been there, and just little like, this is how they fixed a hole. It's just not done properly. Rant over about our property management, because I really don't want this to be a negative video or like everything went wrong while we were here. It didn't. I just want to like be honest about my opinions of what has happened here, or like definitely in this house now that we're moving out and we'll be doing a lot of cleaning and like their checklist. I want to be honest about what the process is, so if you're renting, you can learn from my mistakes. I feel like there's not a good way to do this. I'm trying to find the like preparations on each of these like little bubble wrap pieces, because I don't want to waste bubble wrap. The first one I did, I wasted bubble wrap because I couldn't find the little perforations. I've done 3 of these types of glasses. There's like 2 little preparations, so it splits into these little smaller pieces. I'm using this smaller one to kind of stick into the cup and use as kind of like extra stuffing in there. And then, honestly, I am just doing my best to wrap it as much as I can. The only thing is that bubble wrap just like does not stick to itself, obviously. And look, now I've gotten these 2 things stuck together. Starting off terrible. Ugh. So then I'm just taping the side where I've rolled it in, and then the bottom of the jar, the glass. Ugh. But honestly, I don't know if this is the best method. I just can't decide if like rolling it in this plastic stuff, which I absolutely hate but does work, is easier than cutting up the pieces of tape to do each time. I wish they had bubble wrap that was like self-sticking, so you didn't have to tape or wrap or do something extra to it. I know I said I was showing you all the moving things and what I do. I didn't do this one last time. Mitchell did most of the glassware last time, so this is just me attempting my best and trying to get everything put in here as best as possible. Progress has been made. I've gotten all of these glasses. I'm stacking like the little things that were on the bar cart in here just to fill space. This is how the cart is currently looking. I feel like a lot of progress has been made. There are still lots of coffee mugs in here to be done. I think in between the layers, I'm gonna layer this so that it's like flat. And because then it also reuses this like cells kit, but also to create some sturdiness in the box. I don't know, seems like a good idea. Another day of packing. Last time we packed up the bar cart, I think, and this time we are packing up the bookshelf, which is sitting like right behind me. There's not too much stuff on it, but I'm also gonna put all of the Christmas stuff in this box as well. I believe the last thing I was talking about was getting the downstairs packed because we were packing things up early. Our original plan for this whole move back was to move at the end of March when our lease was up, because that's when our original lease started. Kind of a little backstory. I feel like, I don't know if I talked about this on the way, like when we moved here, but basically we had to like rent an Airbnb for the month of March. So we came like mid-March, no. Yeah, it was like almost a month in March of last year because this house that we moved into wasn't ready at the time, but we chose to move into this house. So they delayed the move-in date, but then we had to rent like a temporary space. And we Airbnb'd for like 3 weeks, I believe it was. So that's why our lease is ending like at the end of March, because it was like an April 1st start date. So that was the original plan, was to move at the end of our lease date. We're actually moving a little earlier now. Let me see what date it is. It's currently February 18th. We've made a lot more progress on the moving side of it. I will show you guys in a second. The reason I haven't been filming is because it's just been a little stressful trying to get it all together, because we are now moving March 3rd instead of at the end of the month. I actually have a job to go back to, which I'm so grateful for. I actually reached out to my old boss just to see if he wanted to be a reference, and some things worked out from there. And so I actually have a position already in Montana, so we are moving it up so that I can start like middle of March at that position. But then we also needed to obviously move up our move time. I think a week after I was packing up the living room, I got like a call offering me the position, which obviously then moved up our timeline. And so I feel like we've been packing a lot faster than I thought was going to happen in this video, or just in this vlog in general. So that's kind of why I feel like a lot of things have been sped up and I haven't been able to talk to you as much. Either way, I'm gonna walk you through kind of some of the stuff we've done. This closet back here holds my towel because we don't have another hook in the actual bathroom, which is also kind of weird because it's a double sink. So you'd think it would have like room to hold 2 towels. It doesn't, which is odd. So I have this like over the door hanging hook, and it just dries best and isn't in the way if it sits here. So I like it. This is just has always been here. This closet is pretty empty and pretty much is just full of hangers at this point and extra clothes. And then I don't think you can see it, but there's shoes on the ground that also need to be packed up. But I currently have, oh, this box is getting a little heavy. I currently have a shoe box going right now. Our toiletry closet still needs to be packed up, but our actual closet I feel like is a lot better. A lot of the clothes that's just like randomly hanging around in the back here is stuff we're taking with us. That's the other thing, is last time, because we were staying so long before we were getting our clothes again, because we had like that 3-week stay, we had to pack so much more stuff. This time it's just going to be about, I think like, well, it's a week without our stuff like here, and then probably another week back in Bozeman, but we're also moving to my parents, which I think I've said. So either way, we don't need half as much clothes as we did last time. So that's really nice, because last time that was like a lot of the stuff we had in the car. Our goal this time also is to not have as much stuff stuffed into the cars. I feel like we like really packed a lot because we're gonna be without things for 3 weeks, and this time we won't be. So I feel like hopefully our cars can come a lot lighter. So hopefully the passenger seat can just be my snack bag this time instead of being stuffed with like a ton of things. and hopefully just both cars can go lighter. And I keep forgetting what I have and haven't said, but we're doing U-boxes again, which are these like square boxes from U-Haul, or I feel like also pods. A lot of like other places I feel like call them pods, but you basically just put everything in, and then U-Haul does like the moving of it across the country, and then you take all of your stuff out. We're also doing a storage unit in Montana, which we've already gotten because we're gonna have extra stuff like our couch, our dining room table. That's obviously not coming to my parents because they have a fully furnished house, but we'll have like our personal bed because Colt sleeps in our bed, so it's just easier if we take our bed. But we're only gonna have like a room compared to a full house, so we really have to reduce the amount of stuff we bring with us. You probably recognize this room as the room where I did all of my like what I wore, any of my like sit down talking videos. Currently, this is our comforter. So our comforter takes about 24 hours to dry, like hanging on something like this. It's actually hanging on the coat rack instead of our like drying rack because our drying rack also has clothes. It used to sit back there in my background setup when it had like coats on it and stuff, except for the fact that I had to wash this in advance because this takes about 24 hours to dry. Our dryer's too small to put it in and just let it dry that way. So I have to let it air dry. We're packing our U-Box up on Friday and Saturday and maybe Sunday of this week. And so this needed to be dried because it's currently Wednesday. And this needed to be dried in advance so that I could pack this up. And I also wanted to clean it before I put it in there. So when we pull it out of the U-Box and we go to make our bed when we're in Montana, then this is clean. This is one of the last rooms up here. Mitchell's office is pretty much clean, so that's good. But this office currently has a closet that still has stuff in it. It's really just, this is like the random closet we've thrown all of our extra stuff in. Most of it honestly could have gone in the garage, but we never put it down there. And so it's lived in this closet, and I'm staring at it right now and it's looking a little cluttered, but you know, that's a later me problem. On the air mattress currently, we just have all the like kind of laundry and things that need to be packed up. So we have a pile of laundry here that needs to be, this is clothes we're not taking with us, so that needs to still be packed up. And then I just have random linens of like blankets or things that are going to be wrapped around paintings. That's the other thing that we have to kind of think about, is what blankets we want with us versus blankets that can be wrapped around a painting. Obviously, we don't want to wrap a painting that's going to go into storage with a blanket we want at the house with us. Been trying to wash all the blankets and then make sure that we know which blankets are coming with us and which ones aren't. Pretty much everything is going in the U-Boxes, but we've had to like label a lot of stuff this time as to what we want to keep in the house with us and what we want to put into storage, which has made packing, I feel like, a lot more difficult, because I feel like the first time we did this, we could just put like everything in one room in one box, and then that room was done. But it's like, okay, does this need to come with us? Does this need to go into storage? The thing we're trying to avoid is to put something into a box and put it into storage and then have to open a box or dig through a box to find something. So we're trying to do that on the front end to make sure that we're packing everything efficiently. Do I know if that's gonna work out? No, but hopefully it does. The bulk of what we've packed is all in this living room. This used to be where the dining room table was. The bookshelf was on that wall, and that's what was in this space before, but obviously now it is full of boxes. Wait, maybe we don't have a single storage box. Maybe this is a storage box. Oh, this is a storage box. These are 2 Montana boxes. We have some like of the black and yellow storage boxes. That's what we call them, but they're like the plastic 26-gallon boxes from Costco. So we have some of the, like our nicer things we don't really want to get destroyed and that like are gonna sit in storage for such a long time possibly. And the stuff that's gonna sit in storage for a while in those boxes. This is how I've been packing the clothes, is leaving the hangers on, and then if there's any extra room in the bag, I stuff like little folded things into it. And that's why there's so many little like bags stacked up in the back there. Last time we did this, we did boxes for all the clothes, and so I took everything off of every single hanger, put it in the cardboard box, and then we shipped it here. And then it was only in the like cardboard box for like 3 weeks. And when I tell you that when I took out some of the clothes from the cardboard boxes and it smelled like cardboard, so I had to wash everything that was in the boxes also when we got here, was so frustrating. This time I'm trying the bag method. It feels like a lot of waste of trash bags, but I'm hoping that they'll either be reusable on the back end for something else and that they're not only gonna be used for this. And I feel like it was a lot faster to do this method than taking all the hangers off and then putting the clothes in boxes. And the thing about doing the boxes method is that now all of your hangers are kind of just flowing in the wind, and obviously hangers don't pack very well. This at least keeps the hangers in a organized manner. Yeah, that's kind of just my thought process on that and why we ended up doing that instead of doing boxes this time. I feel like this area makes it look really messy, but we have our table that used to go behind the couch still sitting here as like a place where we put everything. We have our bar cart here that we just have stuff like laying on, and our couch is in this corner, just chilling. It's all broken up, but it's just chilling in that corner. We do have little bags that we are gonna put around the couch to hopefully protect it, and we do have a mattress cover to also protect it. I feel like this section of the kitchen you would definitely recognize because there's now more coffee cart here. These are like the little yellow and black like tins I was talking about. This is what they look like. We currently have them covered because there's packing peanuts in all 3 of these boxes back here. And Colt decided yesterday that he wanted to start eating the peanuts. So we have them covered now to make sure that he doesn't eat the peanuts. I think that is the tour of everything that we have packed or are packing or needs to be packed. The kitchen just needs the dishware to be packed, like our pots and pans. And that's the last thing in here, and that will, some of that will go into these boxes, but also probably another box we have over there that's empty. But other than that, it's just pantry and our fridge, and so that's not bad for the kitchen. And I feel like the kitchen honestly is feeling a lot more accomplished than other places in the house. Like I actually do feel like our downstairs, even though it looks really messy down here, is a lot more packed up than the upstairs. I also feel like I still have like laundry to do, which is kind of like stressing me out a little bit because I don't want to take extra clothing that I don't need to take. I think once I get more of the upstairs cleaned up, I'll feel like a lot better about the things we have left. This is my last day in office this week, so I have tomorrow and Friday, but the boxes are supposed to come on Friday, hopefully like morning on Friday, not like evening on Friday. So I do have most of tomorrow to pack a lot of things up, hopefully. I do have to go to an oil change for Mitchell's car because he's working, so, and I'm off, so I'm gonna go take that. But that's like midday, so that's gonna be my little packing break. I scheduled it for 1 p.m. so that I could hopefully have all of the morning to get some stuff done. Take a little break midday for like lunch, and then the oil change, and then pack stuff too, again, after that, hopefully. But that's the plan for tomorrow. But we'll see if that actually like comes to fruition, because I don't know. I feel like with moving and packing, everything just probably usually does not go as planned, and it usually takes longer than you think it's gonna take, for sure. This is a great spot we'll never see again because it is officially day 1 of packing the U-boxes. They aren't here yet, but when they are, I'll give you a tour. Hopefully the rain stops because it's currently been raining all morning, and I'm really scared about like loading everything in while it's raining. I just don't want things to be wet in the boxes and sitting in there for like a week or 2. I just got back from the tea shop. I don't think I've ever said it, but it's the spot in Archdale, and it's one of my favorites. It's almost gone, but I got a mango tango smoothie. That's like a lot to say in one sentence. This morning I am obviously doing some dishes, if you can hear the dishwasher in the background, but I'm doing the last little bits of dishes. I got all the pots and pans packed up this morning, which was really good. We were supposed to do that like earlier this week on like Wednesday or Thursday, but that didn't happen. So now that's finally done. It actually took me, I think, 5 minutes to do. We have a lot of open boxes back here because some of them are gonna be going to my parents' house with us, and then some are gonna be going into storage. But so we have a lot of open boxes back here, which is really irritating, but I really can't do anything about it until I find more stuff to put in the boxes. Other than that, I think really today is just waiting for the U boxes. Mitchell has someone from work coming to help him lift the bed, part of the bed, because the bed like is now broken into multiple different pieces, but he has someone coming from work to come help bring it downstairs. I am not confident in my abilities to help lift this down the stairs. For reference also, I'm 5'2" and Mitchell is 6'2", so he has a lot more strength and a lot more height than I do, so whenever we're lifting something, he can lift it a lot higher, he can lift it like a lot heavier than I can, and I can't do that because I am not as tall as him and I do not have as much strength as him. So it makes it hard when we're lifting like really heavy things down the stairs. We got my dresser that used to sit in my office like up down the stairs on our own, but I feel like the bed is just too big. So I'm having someone come help with that part, because if not, I just really don't want to like injure either one of us, mainly Mitchell, due to my lack of strength. they placed them when they got here. So we have one here and one here. You can have them placed at your house wherever you want. This just works best because it's just in the front of our driveway. This is what the boxes look like on the inside. So they come with this like paper on the bottom, which we've already kind of moved because we put this in. They do come with all these furniture pads if you want to use them. If you use the furniture pads, you do have to like refold them and put them back. So you got to remember to take them off all of your stuff if you are using them. So if you're wrapping paintings and stuff, you do have to take them off. If like for us, we're going to wrap all of our stuff in blankets, hopefully, because we're going to be doing storage instead afterwards. We can't keep the blankets they're providing. Good afternoon and welcome to day 2 of packing. I feel like we've made a lot of progress, which is good, but I feel like we still have a lot to go as well. We still need to get our couch into the U-boxes, but I'll show you the updated progress of what we got done yesterday. This is kind of the stuff that still needs to be put in there. Out here, this still needs to go in there, but this is the progress we've made in one of the U-boxes. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we have like golf clubs up front here, our mattress. We have our bar cart in the back here, and then our cooler, which I actually stuffed this cooler full of clothes. And then we have like clothes all on the bar cart too. But we still have some room up top of the mattress and on top of the bar cart, so that's nice. I feel like this one is a lot more packed. So we have like Christmas trees in the back corner there. We have our black and yellow totes back there. And then these boxes are just all sorts of storage going to the house with us. We have our bed on this like left side here, and then just like things like all in the little cracks that we can fit things. And then Mitchell's, what is that?
What?
That DeWalt thing.
Saw?
Oh, I think the next step is to get the couch pieces in here. Obviously the couch broke down into a ton of different pieces, but the bottom parts of the couch have these like big long things, and I think those need to come in here next. I'm not in charge of playing Tetris. That's Mitchell's job. He's a lot better at it. I just stuff things in little corners when I can. I feel like our biggest debate was to get 2 or 3 U-boxes, and we were just so in between that like if we got 3 U-boxes, when it was more money to get the 3rd U-box, but also the 3rd U-box would probably have like 1 or 2 things. Like we really didn't need 3, but we're probably going to be squeezing too much into 2. Or just with the stuff we have, it's not going to stack nicely because like obviously you can't put a ton of boxes on a smoker or a grill. Don't know how this is all going to fit, but hopefully it will. I think we're getting pretty close to having everything put together. I also did run to Target this morning, one to get a Celsius because I love Celsius. I got the Arctic Vibe, I want to say, and to get a mattress topper for our air mattress. I have to say that I had the most uncomfortable sleep on the air mattress last night. It just has like a lot of bubbles on it because I love like the design of the air mattress itself. So I got like a little 1 1/4 foam mattress pad thing, hopefully to make it a little more comfortable of a sleep because we're going to be sleeping on it. Today's Saturday, and we're gonna be sleeping on it for like another 1.5 weeks-ish. At least hotels on the road, we have like an actual bed, so that'll be nice, even though it's not like our bed, it's a bed. I feel like adding the foam mattress pad will just make it a little more enjoyable for the next 1.5 weeks, especially since our bodies are kind of sore. Like my body and my hips clearly show that I haven't been working out because they really hurt today. Good afternoon and welcome to day 3 of packing the U-boxes. We're actually almost done with everything for the day. Like this is the last little room that had stuff in it today. Yesterday we moved everything from this room. Now this is all kind of just random stuff or trash to this room. So this was the last little bit of stuff we had. We have a couple of blankets that need to be put in bags, but that's like really easy. I'm about to wrap these last 2 paintings, and then these are gonna be filled with hangers, but they're just going like on the like top because they're gonna be like really light. So I think that's like honestly it. But I'm gonna finish wrapping up those 2 last things and then I'll show you guys the boxes. They're pretty much like stuffed. Like move less, or we can put blankets there as well.
So this is box number 2, completely filled. Most of this is like couch, bar cart, different types of things, suitcases obviously. And then this is box number 1, which is the first one I showed you. These are the like little blankets they give you in the U-boxes, but honestly it's just using to hopefully have things not pull out like that. It is pretty windy right now, which is probably why that fell out, but they are done, I think. With the U-boxes all packed up, that is the end of this vlog, but there will be more moving content coming soon. I'm gonna be cleaning the house over the next week as we prepare to leave and head back to where we're moving, which is Montana. I don't know if I said that. I've said that in this vlog, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you guys next time.